How is it rocking, Dwayne Nation? Stay here because we are just about to get underway. In the meantime, please like, comment, and subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications. We put out weekly sports content, and we want to continue to build up Dwayne Nation and the brand that is Dwayne Sports. Thank you all, and enjoy. What's up, Dwayne Nation? We are back. We just covered the Chiefs, Chargers, Denver, Raiders, the AFC West. We covered the Texans, Jaguars, Titans, and Colts, the AFC South. And we've covered the AFC North and the Ravens, Bengals, Steelers, and Browns. So we got one more AFC team to cover, and then we will jump into the NFC. Just a reminder, this is your host, Justin Paez, alongside Genoa Agudelo, and our beautiful guest star, Jojo, or Johannan Agudelo. He's coming here and been an absolute wonderful presence and great help so far in our record predictions episodes. Obviously, the schedule release came out this past week, and we're just covering every game, getting our records down, and then we'll move from there with, we'll see what the playoffs shake out to be, and then we got more episodes for you guys on the way, so stay tuned. If you have your team that you covered in another episode, check that out, and then come back here, or vice versa, whatever you want to do. But we're diving into the AFC East, the last four teams of the AFC. We got the Jets, Bills, Dolphins, and Patriots. So let's dig into it. We'll start with the New York Jets. Obviously came into last year with a lot of excitement with Aaron Rodgers coming to town. Obviously he got hurt. Then we saw about the most boring offense in the NFL the rest of the season with Zach Wilson. But we get Aaron Rodgers back this year. We get Mike Williams. They already have a star-studded defense, Malachi Corley in the draft, some good offensive line pieces. And they come into this game, and they come into the season on another Monday night game against the San Francisco 49ers in Levi Stadium, Genoa. What do we think on this game?
Yeah, I feel like the 49ers defense is going to kind of go all out on Aaron Rodgers. He doesn't have the best, track record versus this team or in San Francisco, so give me the 49ers.
All right, JoJo.
Hey, I say I'm gonna have I could say I'm gonna have 49ers here. I'm so glad that Aaron Rodgers is back, and I'm so glad that Zach Wilson's not there. I mean, he should be flipping burgers, but I'm telling you, I think San Francisco 49ers are gonna take this one.
I have the Niners as well. Facing off again. I mean, it's in Aaron Rodgers' hometown, or at least in California. But hey, Nick Bosa is gonna be attacking Rodgers in the offensive line. And this is not a fun fact per se. It's kind of a messed up fact for the Jets. I think we talked about it in our last episode last week, but the Jets are playing against the Niners. Obviously, and then last year they played against the Bills week 1, where Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles. On that play, he was tackled by Leonard Floyd, who is now on the 49ers, a weird circle around. But even with that, they're playing against a really star-studded pass rush, so tough for the Jets. Hopefully everybody stays healthy. We have them losing this game, though. But then they come into week 2. They have another road game, but they go into Tennessee, and they pull the victory out, which we talked about in the Tennessee segment of the AFC South. I think the defense is going to be too much for a young Will Levis. But then the Jets, they get their first home game of the season against the New England Patriots. JoJo, do we think this is a victory for the Jets?
Yes, I do.
Yep, easy money. Genoa?
I'm going to go on the other end. I feel like the Patriots are going to pull one in week 3. I feel like, I just feel like the Patriots are kind of on the, that new rebuild, that new fresh aura. And I feel like, the rookie quarterback and head coach, they get it done on the road, surprisingly.
Wow, man. It's like you guys have these really great takes, these great upsets, but I have to pick the Jets, and it ends the upset. But like that'd be something. That would be that. Honestly, we talked about it more last week, but like games that could really end your season. And I wouldn't go far to say like the Jets season would be over if they lost to the Patriots at home, but that would be a really tough one for them to lose. But the Jets win the majority there. They win that game. Then we have them hosting the Broncos in a Nathaniel Hackett revenge game. They pull it off because they have the better roster, not because Nathaniel Hackett's a good coach or a good play caller. Sorry, Nathaniel. But then we move into week 5 where the Jets head to Minnesota. JoJo, what do we think on this game?
Man, I can see this already. See the headlines. You got Sauce and you got Justin Jefferson. It's going to be a great matchup here. Oh man, it could either be Justin Jefferson really exposes him, or we see Sauce getting to Justin Jefferson's head, and I think that's what's gonna happen here. I think we're gonna see Sauce getting to Justin Jefferson's head on early, and we're gonna have to see another involvement. And you just got JJ McCarthy once again. We talked about him, Justin, and I still not high on him. And then you got Aaron Rodgers on the other side. I mean, that's like filet mignon and a McDonald's burger. It's not really the same thing. So we're just gonna go here with the Jets. That's what I'm gonna pick.
All right, Janelle, what do you think?
uh, I'm gonna go ahead and take the Vikings on this one. I don't know. I mean, they have a history of playing Aaron Rodgers, and so does he. But I think they get the best of him in this matchup.
And I'm okay. I'm gonna go with the Vikings. I think they win at home, but I honestly look at it and I think Darnold might be starting at this point just to start the season a handful of weeks, and that would be a revenge game for Sam Darnold.
Oh,
He's going to
and
try to revitalize his career, playing against his former team where he had no chances to really succeed there, and he gets a victory with Justin Jefferson. And what you mentioned, it is going to go two ways. I think either Jefferson has a phenomenal game where he shows up Sauce Gardner, and we're like, yeah, Justin Jefferson is the best receiver in the NFL. Or we look at it like the Jets are just a really good defense, and the Vikings had no answers for them. But I have Jefferson having a good game, and the Vikings pulling it out at home. But then we moved to Week 6 in dreaded MetLife. The Jets host the Bills in a game that happened last year in Week 1 where Rodgers got injured. This happens on Monday night as well. Hopefully, no deja vu. Hopefully, please. We don't like injuries, especially not on the Jets team. And so, JoJo, though, what do you think with this game?
yeah, please, please, MetLife, don't send my bro running out with the flag again. We don't need to see that again. We get it. He's back. Just have him come out, like take him on a cart to the field. Make sure he's nice and rested. Please have him ready for this game because if Aaron Rodgers is in this game, it's gonna be a completely different story, and we're gonna see Jets taking the W at home here.
All right, Janelle, what do you think?
I disagree. I feel like when they won last year, Week 1, it was off a punt return touchdown. I think Josh Allen and the team was already kind of discharged already with what was going on with Diggs. I feel like this time around, the Bills come around with the vengeance and they win. They win big time. I give them a 34 to 21 victory for the Bills.
Man, this one's tough. I'm gonna get the Jets to split with the Bills. They'll lose their road game to them down the line, but I think they win at home here. I agree though that I think we're gonna see what this Jets team is made of because we're gonna see if the Nathaniel Hackett's play calling is gonna limit them from being like a real contender. But I have them winning here, as does JoJo. And then we move to Week 7 where they're on the road with the Pittsburgh Steelers. We picked Pittsburgh to win this game. This would be a really good game. I can see it out from now. And then the Jets stay on the road and they go to New England. Genoa, you had New England pulling off the upset in Week 3. What's it look like in Week 8?
I do think the Jets win this one, but I wouldn't underestimate the Patriots on this one. I think if the Jets win, it has to be on the back of Breece Hall, who does have a 70-yard touchdown in Gillette Stadium to put the Jets up and have them win the game.
All right, JoJo.
Hey, that's an awesome take, and I agree with Genoa here. I think Jets get it done. I could see a bit of a big Brees Hall game, like you said. But yeah, I got Jets over Patriots.
I got Jets as well. I just don't think with that defense being how strong it is, a rookie like Drake May, as much as I think he'll become a really good quarterback, it won't happen in this game or against the Jets for that matter in any game this season. But then we have a Thursday night game where we have the Jets getting the upper hand on the Texans, a big victory for New York in dreaded MetLife. And then the Jets go on the road. They get some extra days off here because from a Thursday to a Sunday, they go into Arizona to face Kyler Murray. JoJo, what do you think?
Oh, that's gonna be a tough one. I do think that I love this game a lot. Actually, we're gonna get another key matchup here. We're gonna see Sauce Gardner versus the one and only the best wide receiver in this draft class. We got Marvin Harrison Jr. So it's gonna be a tough one. It really just depends on the back of Kyler Murray at this point. We know Aaron Rodgers is capable of doing Aaron Rodgers things. I might go with Cardinals on this one. I think Cardinals are gonna come out with a little bit more firepower. Kyler Murray, he's a dominant player, and people seem to forget that. And I think he's gonna come out and he's gonna utilize his weapons.
All right, Jano, what do you think?
Yeah, I believe the same way. I think that Marvin and Kyler they have a classic day together, and Marvin starts to add his name into those top 5, top 7 receivers.
All right, dang. All right, so Cardinals win the majority because I was going to go with the Jets. I do think, gosh, that's going to be a great matchup to watch with Marvin versus Sauce. I do worry about Kyler in this game. I think just the secondary is really strong in New York. I think they might turn to James Conner a lot if James Conner's having a good season like he did last year. But okay, we have the majority as Arizona. Then we go into week 11 where the Jets host the Colts in dreaded MetLife. And we have the Jets winning that game headed into their bye week. So they're looking pretty good this season so far. Then they host the Seahawks. Obviously Rodgers versus the Seahawks. They've had some pretty great matches over the years in the playoffs. Obviously that, I don't know what they call it, but that catch at the end of the game against the Seahawks 6 or 7 years ago. So they always have great games. Jano, what do you think though at this game when they're hosting the Seahawks?
You know what? I think Gino's going to struggle this game, Justin. I feel like at this point in the season, there's going to be a lot of questions on, we're going to have, in Seattle, it's time for a new quarterback. And I like the Jets to win this one.
All right, Jojo.
I agree with Gino here. I got Jets winning this one. I just don't see what Gino's gonna do much here. I don't think he'll be a factor at all. I'm just gonna take Jets here.
I'm going to take Jets as well, even though this is also a revenge game for Geno Smith, former Jet. He started his career there.
Yeah.
Similar to Sam Darnold, had no great chances, even though he didn't play well in his opportunities to start. But I think he has a tough go of it in dreaded MetLife. And then we move on to Miami. The Jets head into to play the Dolphins. And what do you think here, though, on this one, Genoa?
Yeah, when we talk about the Dolphins, they start off hot and they just end the last 5 to 6 weeks just very hot and cold, up and down. I am gonna give the edge to Tua, but I wouldn't be surprised though if the Jets pull this one out. But I'm gonna give this one to the Dolphins just because they're home.
All right, Jojo.
I do agree. Man, that's gonna be a good game. I feel like I don't know if it'll be like a shootout. You know what I mean? I think it's gonna be a bit of a more of a defensive game here. But I guess I'm gonna go with Dolphins actually here to pull it out.
I'm going to go with the Dolphins as well. Tyreek was still able to have pretty good games against New York last season, even though the Jets could never have the ball for more than a handful of minutes because their offense was so bad. But yeah, I got the Dolphins on that one. Then we have the Jets going into Jacksonville and causing a lot of problems for Trevor Lawrence and company, and they win that game on the road. Then they come back and they're at home at dreaded MetLife against the Los Angeles Rams. It's a very good game here. Jojo, what do you think could be the outcome of it?
Oh, this is gonna be a great game, Justin. I'm excited to watch this game right here. Man, that's gonna be tough. I'm gonna go with Jets here. I think it's gonna be a good game with Stafford versus Aaron Rodgers. I think it's gonna be a classic veteran matchup here. I don't know actually. I mean, it could be a nice little like Puka game. Maybe Puka gets loose and gets a couple catches for touchdowns. But I just see Jets pulling this out some way. I just know Aaron Rodgers is gonna lead that clutch game.
All right, Genoa.
I'm gonna agree. I actually feel like the Rams are gonna struggle a lot. I think Stafford is gonna struggle just trying to get the ball to his playmakers. I think Kyron won't be able to run a rush much. So I like the Jets to win this one.
Okay, well, majority wins there because I had the Rams winning this one. I look at it similar to how the Rams were able to upset the Ravens last season, late in the season in Baltimore. The weather was kind of meh, but the Rams came in and were playing really hot, and they were playing some of their best football this season. And they just have a lot of options too. If Puka doesn't work, they can throw it to Cooper Cup. If that doesn't work, they try it with Kyron. But majority wins with the Jets. Then I think we might be in agreement with the Bills winning at home. What are your thoughts on that, Genoa? Yeah.
No, yeah, I think that Josh Allen has a big time Josh Allen game. If you're in the fantasy championship, you got Josh Allen. I'd be feeling really good about that.
All right, Jojo.
Yeah, I agree with here. I'm gonna go with Josh
Bills.
Allen here.
All right, Bills win over the Jets here, and then the Jets get to host the Dolphins. I have them splitting. So I have Jets. Is that what we kind of agree with consensus? Yep. Jets win there. So that ends their season at 11-6. So very good for them. probably will be. I think a lot of teams, like the Dolphins and the Bills, are probably going to be around this. So we'll see how this ends for them. We'll jump to Buffalo and Josh Allen's team. Obviously, they got rid of Stephon Diggs. They didn't get Gabe Davis back, but they get Curtis Samuel, Keon Coleman. They have Kincaid there and James Cook. And then their defense is kind of ravaged. They got rid of a lot of old vets. But we'll see how this season rolls for them. JoJo, let's start off with you. They host the Arizona Cardinals. What do you think?
Yeah, when I think of this matchup, I think of a couple of years back with that Hail Mary touchdown with DeAndre Hopkins. It kind of just brings that time, but man, this game is so to bring that point to tell you that this matchup is kind of unexpected. You don't really know what to expect. But I'm just gonna go with the home team here. I think Josh Allen comes off strong. Marvin Harrison Jr. and his new quarterback, they're not gonna have it down just yet. Obviously, Kyler Murray can do it himself too, and with great running back, but I just think that Bills are going to take it here.
All right, Genoa.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and give the Bills, of course, this home game. I think Kyler struggles all first half. They kind of get the group going in the third quarter, but by then, I think Josh Allen already has 3 to 4 touchdowns put on the board. So give me the Bills in this one.
Yeah, I'm giving the Bills the edge as well. That moves us to week 2, and the Bills are on the road against the Dolphins in a tough divisional game. Genoa, what do you think?
This one is tough, but I actually think the Bills can beat Miami twice this year. So give me the Bills to go on the road. A couple years ago, the Bills were riding high 3-4-4-0, but I think Josh Allen makes that late game mistakes. And, you see Kid Dorsey, the former offense coordinator, slamming, the play calling sheets all over, the press box. So I feel like this is a game where the Bills kind of get their mojo and they win this one.
All right, JoJo.
That's a good take, honestly, but I don't know. Going into Miami, I can see this kind of. I'm not sure. I'm just gonna, I'm gonna side with you on this one.
All right, dang. I was going to go Dolphins. So there's discrepancies there, but the Bills win this game. And so they start out 2-0. We have them going 3-0, and they host the Jaguars. But then we have them going into Baltimore and dropping that game. Obviously, I think one of the last times we saw them play each other was that game where Baltimore was at home as well, I think, and they choked the lead away, and the Bills came back and won. But then the Bills have, in their second of 3 games on the road, which this is a tough stretch for them from weeks 4 to 6, they go into Houston, they lose that game, and then they go into dreaded MetLife, and they play the Jets, and they lose that game on Monday night. And then they come back, though, home, week 7. They're finally happy to be home, and they show it. They win against Tennessee, and then they head into Seattle against the Seahawks. What do we think here, JoJo, in this game?
Man, this could be. Some could say this could be a Geno game. I mean, you could really say it's a DK Metcalf. I mean, we don't know what to expect here. I feel like this could be a trap game, Justin. I don't know. I kind of want to lean towards Seattle here as an upset win.
All right, Genoa.
I have Buffalo. I think Josh Allen just goes into the road and just has a classic Josh Allen game, whether it's on the foot or him just throwing a party.
Dang, this one's tough. I agree with JoJo. I think it's going to be a trap game, though, for the Bills. This will probably be Geno. To me, this will be Geno Smith's highest fantasy scoring game of the season. He'll probably throw 4 touchdowns, 2 to DK, and 1 to JSN, maybe 1 to Noah Fant or something like that. And the Seahawks will pull that game out, even though I don't have super high hopes on the Seahawks this season, but I think they get this game at home. And then we have the Bills headed into – I mean, they're hosting the Miami Dolphins, and we'll see. What do you think here, Genoa? Do they win this one?
Yeah, I do think this one. I just sometimes when Tua goes on the road, I get very just nervous. He's not the best road quarterback. He's not ever going to make the biggest, flashiest plays to win road games, especially in Buffalo. Give me the Bills all day on this one.
All right, JoJo.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with on this one. I think Bills do take it again.
Bills agreed there. Week 10, we have the Bills winning a road game in Indianapolis. That'll be a great game to watch. But then they're riding on a 2-game win streak momentum, and they pull off a victory over Kansas City before heading into their bye week. Then they come back, and they're at home, and they host the San Francisco 49ers, thankfully getting a break that bye week in between those 2 games. But, JoJo, what do you think of this game against the Niners?
Oh, Justin, this is another great game. Josh Allen has to prove himself this game. He's going to have to do something. I mean, I know he's gonna ball out this game. I'm predicting like a 3 to 4 touchdown game from Josh Allen on this good defense. But I do think that I do think I'm gonna go with Bills actually. I think Bills are gonna pull the win here. Josh Allen's just gonna have a dominant game, and I think it's gonna overshadow what the 49ers can do.
All right, Genoa.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Bills here. I just feel like Purdy's gonna struggle to kind of get that play action going in that ruckus crowd, and not to mention, Justin, the weather might be a factor there, so it's gonna be tough to get Christian McCaffrey going. I think there might be a little bit of fatigue in the snow. So give me the Bills in that one.
I have the Bills as well. I think the weather will, prove to be the biggest thing for the Niners that'll make them lose this game. But then after the stretch of good wins, they go into Los Angeles to play the Rams. Jojo, what do we think on this game?
Ooh, you know what, Justin? I'm gonna go with the Rams on this one. I really like this game for anybody on the Rams offense. I think they're gonna come through and they're gonna come out explosive. And I think Josh Allen might even struggle a little bit in this game matchup. I'm gonna go with the Rams here.
All right, Genoa.
I'm gonna go with the Rams too. I think Stafford leads a game-winning comeback. I think they're kind of down 10, maybe 17 after the half, and I like Stafford to get those playmakers together and lead a game-winning drive to win the game.
I agree with you both. I think the Rams win that game. But then the Bills stay on the road and they play the Lions in a tough stretch. So they go from hosting the Dolphins to heading to Indy to hosting the Chiefs and the Niners, then going into Los Angeles to play the Rams, and then they go into Detroit, Genoa. What's this game looking like for you?
Yeah, I'm thinking this is going to be a high-scoring matchup, but I'm going to give the edge to Jared Goff. To he's home, and I like Jared Goff when he's home. Those playmakers, Dan Campbell, give me the Lions in this one.
All right, Jojo.
This match was gonna be a great one, but I am gonna go with the Lions or the home team. I can see Bills going on like a 2 game losing streak. Sorry, that is, and yeah, I'm gonna go with the home team once again. I agree with Genoa. I can see Jared Goff taking over. I'm around St. Brown. I think he's gonna have a good game, and even
I
Laporta.
agree. Yeah, it seems like it'll be a big Lions. I think the Bills, what will end up ending their season is that I think the defense is going to struggle a little bit more after losing all those players. I know they were older, more injured vets, but you need some good vets on the team, and they're kind of lacking there. So they lose this game to the Lions. So they lose the 2 games in a row on the road. But they come back at home against the Bills. Are we in agreement that the Bills will probably win this game at home
Yeah,
against New England? Yeah,
yeah, they'll
good
beat them
there.
up.
I think so. And then they win at home against the Jets, so they split the series with New York. And then they're 10-6, so we're looking at it. They head into the last game of the season. If they win the division, or at least they pass up the Jets because they're 4-1 in the division at the moment. So they head into Week 18 in New England. So they're probably playing all their starters trying to win this division. Jano, what do you think here?
Yeah, I like it as much. I want to pick the Patriots because they beat them last year in New England with that terrible team they had. But I still like the Bills to rebound and they understand that the division's on the line. And I feel like they'll win that game.
All right, Jojo, what do you think here?
I don't think Genoa could have said any better. I agree.
All right, so a big decision here. I have the Bills as well. They get 11-6 record, so they have the same as the Jets, but a better division record gives them the division lead, and that heads us into Miami, where we started with them. They face off against the Jags, and they win at home, and I think, as we all probably agree with, that the Dolphins are one of the best teams that start the season. They're really hot to begin, and they usually slow down. But we have them losing in week 2 to the Bills at home, so they start out 1-1. And then they go back on the road to face the Seattle Seahawks. Jojo, what do you think on this game here?
Uh, we've been kind of down on Tua on road games, but I do think they're just gonna utilize their weapons to a point to where, um, Seattle's not gonna be able to keep up. I do think DK Metcalf might even go quiet this game, so Geno Smith's not gonna have his top target available. So I do think we're gonna be relying here on the Dolphins to win.
All right, Janelle, what do you think here?
I'm going to go with the Seahawks here. I think maybe Kenneth Walker has a big game here against the Dolphins.
Gosh, this game is tough. I think it'll be a shootout for sure. It'll be back and forth, similar to the Seahawks-Bills game. I think they're going to be very similar games coming out. Ah, man, but I'm gonna have a hot Dolphins team win it, and they take that game in Seattle. And I think by this time, maybe we'll know for sure if Tua is getting paid or if they're just going to push it to next year. Either way, Tua is going to have a little bit of a chip on his shoulder to show that he deserves the money that he's getting or should be getting. And they get this game here. And then in week 4, we have them beating the Titans at home on Monday night. Obviously, last time they played, we talked about the Titans upset them. But we don't think that happens here. But then before their bye week, they head into New England. Jojo, what do we think on this game in New England?
Hey, this could be a trap game, Justin. New England's good at locking down those teams, those high powered teams. I don't know. I think I'm gonna take New England in an upset here.
All right, Genoa.
Yeah, I agree. I think they Tua is going to struggle in New England, and I feel like Gerard Mayo is going to have a great defensive minded strategy to stop him.
Wow. I mean, this one's tough because I think Tua, he's either never lost to the Patriots or he's only lost like one game to the Patriots. He doesn't lose often to them. Obviously, he's kind of been the starter since Tom Brady left. But okay, we have Patriots as consensus here. I'll ride with that. And then they head into their bye, and then they come out of it hot though because they win a road game in Indianapolis. But then they come back at home to face off against the Cardinals. What do you think here on this game?
Ooh, I like actually the Dolphins to have a big time game, a big time victory there, and I think Kyler actually struggles. And give me the Dolphins in this one.
All right, Jojo.
I agree with Genoa here. Big everywhere game. I think both running backs
Yeah.
get involved. I think Tyreek Hill gets something to eat. I think Waddle gets something to eat. I memean, everywhere.
Everybody's eating in this game for Miami. I agree. They win this one. Then they go into Buffalo and they lose that game. So they lose both games to Buffalo this year. And then week 10 they stay on the road and they go to Los Angeles. So they switch from the East Coast to head to the West Coast, and they live in the bottom of the East Coast. So they're moving around a lot over these next few weeks. And they play the Los Angeles Rams. Jojo, what do you think here?
Man, Rams are very sneaky. You can get those wins at home. I think this will be kind of a good game. I think we're gonna see a little bit of a shootout here, actually. Um, it's gonna be tough, but I'm gonna go with Rams here. I think Rams take this one. I think Matthew Stafford has 2 touchdowns. I think we see a lot of running game, and from the Rams, and yeah, give me the Rams.
All right, Genoa, what do you think?
Yeah, I'll take the Rams as well. Give me a 3 touchdown day for Kyron Williams.
All right, big Kyron day.
Hmm.
This is a Jalen Ramsey revenge game, but he is on the losing end as we get the Rams winning. I agree on Monday Night Football, and then the Dolphins they get their revenge on Christian Wilkins for leaving them and heading to the Raiders. They win at home there, and then they host the New England Patriots, where I have them winning that game. What do you think?
Yeah, I have the Dolphins, getting back at the Patriots from week 5, and they have a pretty defensively dominant game.
All right, JoJo, same there. All right, so we all agree Miami takes that one, but then they have a tough road game on Thanksgiving against the Packers. JoJo, what do you think here?
Give me Jordan Love and a Thanksgiving nice matchup here. I think Jordan Love is gonna come out. He's gonna ball. He's gonna show why he's that new young quarterback.
All right, Genoa.
Very much agreed. Very much agreed. Jordan Love will have a fantastic game in Lambeau, and all those cheeseheads will be chewing on turkey legs.
Yeah, I like that actually. That's pretty good. All right, yeah, I got Packers as well. And then we have the Dolphins hosting the Jets and winning that game, but then the Dolphins got to go on the road and face the Texans, and they lose it. They drop that, so now they're 8-8. Or after these next two, they will be. But they host the Niners, and a game probably for their season because it's not looking too great right now. But they play the Niners, and Genoa, what do you think on it?
Yeah, as much as I've had my doubts on the 49ers, I think late into this year, they'll be fully developed, fully ready to go. Give me the 49ers to pull an upset on the road, getting to 5 times.
All right, JoJo.
I agree with you. I think 49ers are gonna take this one on the road. I just don't think Tua is gonna get away from that defense, and I don't think anything's really gonna get going to the point where they can overpower that 49ers offense. And we talk about Christian McCaffrey. I mean, he's just gonna be a stud in this game. Give me a 2 touchdown Christian McCaffrey game here.
I agree. I have 49ers as well. I kind of see both things happening. I see it being close, and I see the Niners stomping on them, but I still overall still see the Niners winning that game. And then the Dolphins end with 2 hard games. They go into Cleveland. Weather's going to be bad. We know Tua is bad in weather games. That's what we talked about when we were talking about Cleveland. So the Dolphins drop that one. And then they go into dreaded MetLife, and they lose their last game of the season. And it ends a really puts a sour taste in the mouth of the Dolphins fans. Either the Dolphins are thinking, what did we just do? We just paid Tua a bunch of money and we ended our season 8-9, or they might be a little happy thinking, hey, the Dolphins better not pay Tua now. We went 8-9. So the Dolphins end at 8-9, obviously looking like they're going to miss the playoffs. And then we're going to end the AFC with the New England Patriots. A new era for them. No Bill Belichick. They got a new quarterback, of course, in Drake May. And then they drafted a couple wide receivers in the NFL draft, but nothing too much out of them. So we don't expect too much, maybe. But we start their season. They headed to Cincinnati. They dropped that game. It's a tough game on the road for Drake May in his first career game and his debut. So they lose that, but then they host the Seahawks, an interesting game in New England. JoJo, what do you think here?
Oh man, that's kind of a nasty game there. Boy, I really want to say Patriots are gonna pull it away at home. Um, I don't know how Geno Smith's gonna perform on the road, so I think I'm gonna go with the home team, Justin, to say Patriots got this one.
All right, Genoa, it looks like you're shaking your head yes.
Yeah, I agree. I think Geno Smith has a really bad game, and he's not able to convert. And the Patriots and Drake May, they get their first one of the year.
All right, I like that there. I'm going to agree with you guys. I think Patriots win that one. But then they got to go on the road for 2 games, and they face off against the Jets, where we have them losing. And it should be a tough game for Drake May Thursday night. In the lights in dreaded MetLife. And so they face off against the Jets. They lose, and then they go into Levi Stadium, which I have them losing. I think we agree there. Probably a loss for the Patriots on the road in San Francisco. Then we have them pulling a good upset against the Dolphins, winning at home. But then they back that up by hosting the Texans and losing that game. And then headed to week 7, they go into Jacksonville and lose that game. So they're on a tough stretch. I mean, they lost what? So from week 3, they've won 1 of their last 4 games. And then they lose to Jacksonville, and then they host the Jets, where we have them losing that game as well. And then into week 9, we continue the losing streak as they lose on the road to Tennessee against Will Levis and company. And then we move to week 10, where we get to decide what we think will happen for them on the road against the Chicago Bears. What do you think with this game?
Yeah, no, the top 3, 2 of the top 3 picks face off, Justin, and I like Caleb Williams to show out there, and so give me the Bears.
Yeah, all right, JoJo.
I'm gonna go ahead and agree with you on this. I think Caleb Williams has sort of like some sort of unique game here. He's gonna make a highlight play. Just mark my words. It's gonna be a playmaking play. We're gonna be like, dang, this guy's legit.
All right. I like that. I agree with that. I think Chicago wins that. Caleb Williams shows why he is the number 1 pick, and in a 2 of the top 3, as you mentioned, matchup of rookie quarterbacks. Then we move into week 11, where the Patriots host the Rams. JoJo, what do you think here on this game?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Rams here. I'm not sure what to expect from the Patriots against a team like the Rams. They could potentially slow them down. But I do think someone along the lines of Cooper Kupp or Puka, they get it going, and Matthew Stafford is gonna ultimately lead them to win.
Yeah, Genoa, what do you think?
I think this is a trap game for Matt Stafford. And I think by week 11, the Patriots will be a little bit more, in the groove. Chemistry will probably be up there. So give me the Patriots on shocking win there against the Rams.
Gosh, I'm wondering what this season will look like for them. I'm starting to think more that Brissett might start, but then after this losing streak, they might give it to May, and then May goes on a little hot streak. That's a way things could turn. But I'm not going to bet on that happening. I have the Rams winning on the road. I agree. I feel like either Puka or Kyron's going to have a really big game in New England. I don't think their defense is as strong as it was, years ago. And so they lose that game. So they've lost a handful of games in a row. What is that, from week 6 to week 11? And we have them losing 2 more. They lose on the road in Miami, but they did get one victory over Miami at home earlier in the season. But then they host the Colts, and they lose that game as well to AR and Shane Steichen. So they head into their bye, which, similar to Denver, they really needed that bye earlier in the season. But they have it in week 14. So they head into their bye, and then they come out of it, and they have to go to Arizona to face off against Marvin Harrison and Kyler Murray. Jano, what are your take here?
Man, dang. The number 4 pick versus the number 3 pick. I like the Cardinals. I think Marvin shows out here. Kyler shows out here, and I think the Patriots lose. Give me the Cardinals here.
JoJo?
Give me the Cardinals in a blowout win. I think this is not going to be close. I can just see Kyler Murray doing his thing, and I mean everyone eating in this game. I think Cardinals are going to come out to play here.
Okay, all right. I think it'll be a game that it'll be close. It'll be like I think this will give us our biggest flash, our biggest spark from Drake May. That he'll have a lot of fantasy points, a lot of touchdowns. Where we'll be like, all right, well, something like sooner or later he'll be the guy, and hopefully this Patriots team will grow around him. But he will lose this game to Arizona, and then we have the Patriots going into Buffalo and losing, but then pulling off an upset against the Chargers at home in late December, and then losing at home to the Bills, because the Bills they're going to be in must-win mode to try to win the division, and so the Patriots dropped that game as well and end their season at 3-14. So looking at that, what is it? One of the worst teams in the conference, right in front of the Broncos. So they lose there, and it's a bad season for New England. Their rookie quarterback doesn't do great. Gerard Mayo's not a great first year, but it's a new team, new era for them. So it's kind of expected that they'll start out slow. But that wraps up the AFC. Just to recap on the division, we had the Bills winning at 11-6. The Jets, they're 11-6 as well, but they slot in as the second best team in the division. And then we had the Dolphins at 8-9 and the Patriots at 3-14. So that ends it. And looking at it, so if you look at the standings of the AFC, we'll have the Chiefs winning the bye week. Then we'll have the Texans at the number 2 seed going 12-5. And the Ravens will also be 12-5, getting the 3rd seed. And the Bills winning at 11-6, getting the 4th seed. The first wild card spot will go to the Jets at 11-6. And then we'll get the Bengals at the 6th seed at 11-6 as well, and then the Colts at 10-7 will get the 7th seed. So just one more thing, looking at it entirely, we'll have the Texans versus the Colts. So we'll have a division matchup in the playoffs, which you could argue last year was a playoff matchup in Week 18 for both teams. So we'll see a rematch there in Houston. And then we'll see another division matchup. We'll have the Bengals coming into Baltimore to play against Lamar and Cincy. And then we'll have another division matchup. We have the Jets going into Buffalo to face them. So that's an interesting AFC layout that we've covered through all 16 of the AFC teams. We will continue covering the NFC on our next episode. But yeah, this was the AFC East, and if you need to look at any of the other teams in the AFC, go ahead and check it out. But that's all from me, your host Justin Paez and Genoa Agudelo. Thank you, JoJo, for coming out and showing out on these episodes, and you'll continue to show up. Hopefully, we'll see you more. You've done great. You've been great. Hopefully, the fans get to check it out. And Genoa, as always, send us out.
Dewey Nation, we love you guys. This was awesome. We're so excited to get to the NFC side. And hey, Justin, maybe we can do a little Super Bowl prediction, a little bracket, and see who meets up now that we have the AFC matchups for the playoffs prediction. But hey, Dewey Nation, we love you guys. JoJo, welcome along. We hope to have you more. And Dewey Nation, as always, peace.
Peace out, guys.